Hello again, everyone. I went through my last video about a green new investment opportunity, and I realized one thing. In my great attempt not to overhype or make the company sound too good, I realized that I didn't do a proper job in explaining what the company is, what the company does, and what they're trying to do. And that is what this video is going to be about. What I didn't want to do in the first video where I talked about this stock was talk about their science. I say their science because they have this product and they say that science or that it's better in all these ways. I don't know any better. Like, I don't know that it is. I don't know that it isn't. I know that there's been enough scientific studies that everything is both good and bad. So I'm not going to speculate in there. It sounds realistic to me, and that's all I'm going to say about the science of their product. Now, what's Verde Agritech's story? Well, they have a massive resource um, that they were originally planning on turning into potash back in 2011, 2012, when everyone wanted potash stocks. That's because they had the potassium and they were going to have a huge operation and transform it into traditional potash and then sell it. And then uh, the commodity cycle went the other way and they decided, you know what, we have this fertilizer that's better than potash. Why are we turning it into that? We could just sell it this way. The problem is then they'd need to offer, they'd need to market, they'd need to price it, and then they'd need to set up their own operation and sell it. So that's what they're trying to do. They want to offer this superior product at the same price as what potash would be for local farmers. And if they're successful, they would be able to supply much of Brazil, where they're located, with crop aid to grow a healthier food. Now, they would be able to produce up to 25 million tons per year of this, but because they are not able to sell it on the spot market, they would have to ramp up slowly and sell in increments more and more, hopefully, over the years until their product proves itself and everyone wants it. Now, as I said before, because their product is unique, the big question that I believe the market has is, can they sell enough? Can they sustainably grow their production in a way that the market is there to take off by all of what they're producing? In their case, I'm going to say something a bit weird. The numbers in terms of the net present value, price to cash flow, what this company might be worth, both absolutely matter and don't matter. I'm not saying they don't matter because of some, like, oh, they're changing the planet. No, that's good. But I'm saying they don't matter for in terms of the stock value because it's not so much about how much they're producing, but how much they're able to sell. So the net present value and the IRR and all that stuff look crazy because it's kind of like they're selling a non-commodity product and they're able to just produce the product very well, relatively cheaply, but because it's a big product, a lot of transport and stuff, there's some costs, but the, for the investment, you just want to know, can they scale up both slow enough and quick enough for it to matter? Now, in terms of how they're doing so far, in 2018, they sold more than they produced. They had to cancel some orders because they couldn't produce fast enough. That being said, they only produced 40,000 tons. They want to get it to 200,000 tons by 2019. I believe they sold 50,000 tons, so the 150 unsold tons, assuming all the customers go back, will be the big question mark for 2019. And also in 2018, my understanding was that there was some weather problem or weather inconvenience, and I'm not from Brazil, so I don't know. But my understanding was there was a poor season for a lot of rain and transport issues. So they should already be on pace for more than 40,000, but hopefully they make, produce, ship, and sell 200,000 for 2019, and that they can look forward to 2020 and look forward to growing more. Yes, also in terms of their ramp up, the 40K 18, 200K 19, I believe that their permitting is up to 600K tons per year or something. I believe that before they can ramp up to 2020 at least, that they need some more permits. So that's another thing to watch in the next few years. Now, another remarkable thing about this company is how they were able to finance. They took on $800,000 in debt, not 800 million, $800,000 in debt. And that was enough to get them into production, and now they have a cash flow. Now, will they be able to ramp up entirely from cash flow and grow through that? I don't know, but they already have their production in place, and I don't think they'll need more debt to ramp up to 200K. They might in later stages, but for now, they seem to be growing at a sustainable pace. The upcoming $1 million private placement, which in the private placement they say will include management and directors, so we'll see how much they subscribe to. But my thought process before this was I didn't know if they would do it. I thought they might. I thought maybe they wouldn't have to, but it was also possible that they would do more than a million. So a million at 60 cents is kind of one of those, okay, that's out of the way for now issues. I believe it is just a matter of breathing room for them because they did have a bit of cash and they did have some, like I said, a cash flow. They're not yet completely profitable. So that's where they stand there. And on the subject of is management good or is management whatever? Well, I don't know. Management owns 10% of the more than 10% of the company. So their interests are aligned with ours. They've done well, they've only issued fully outstanding less about like 52 million shares if you include the private placement, and that's over many, many years. So they've done a good job of not wasting money or not diluting shareholders. So there's that. And, on the off cycle, when potash went down, they were able to come up with an alternative. Whether it will work or not is the $2 billion question. But whether the management believes in the story, I believe they do. You look, they haven't sold, they're paid in shares, some of them, or most of them. They've only bought more shares, so they believe. So in my view, the first big step for the company would be from going from one company that is small. I mean, They may forever be small, but going from a company that may rely on more shareholders putting money in versus one that is proving their product and has a free cash flow, once they make it to that point, I think a good deal of the risk comes out because even if they can't scale up completely, as long as they don't overreach, they will be able to grow at a pace funding themselves as opposed to having the risk of needing more shareholder capital. So as long as they don't overextend themselves and they can get a free cash flow, I would think that this could be a fairly decent win. As to how much they can scale out and how much their product attracts attention, that is the big question. So in conclusion, on the story side, if they're able to make the market believe that they have the best product, whether or not it is, and I personally believe, based on my knowledge, that it is a superior product to what the farms are currently using. But that doesn't matter. If they can't get the people who would be using the product to use it, then it doesn't matter. But if they can, by the way, I'm not suggesting you do, I'm not suggesting you don't. You can, if it's in stock, buy their Super Green Sand product on Amazon and test it for yourself if you want to. Just saying. So it is approved for use in other countries. So there's that. I don't know if it's beneficial or not. Again, I lean towards it being, but if they can convince the people who would be using the bulk of their product that it's great, then the money will be made. And, in the environment, the food will be better. So it's just, with all the how much the world seems to be interesting right now, this is just an optimistic scenario to invest in, which could also be profitable. Will it be? I hope it is. Obviously, I do own some of this stock, but I hope it is because we can all use better food also.